Hello, I'm Jennifer Siebold, Executive Director of the Denver Voice. I'd like to welcome you to Rise and Thrive, an annual breakfast and fundraising event that in 2020, like so many others, we unfortunately had to call off completely as we dealt with the early onset of the pandemic. We are excited this year for you to join us again, both in person with limited capacity seating and online so that you can join us wherever you're enjoying your breakfast this morning. We're so excited for you to join us today as we showcase our program and celebrate its success. And we hope that you'll feel inspired to give as we strive to reach our goal to raise $20,000 today and to have even greater impact in 2021 to continue a legacy of success for all those who come to work through our program. Before we get started, I want to take a moment and thank our sponsors. Key Renter Property Management, SEM Optimization, Pivotal Energy Partners, 10X Business Consultants, the Meet Cuneo Family Fund, Trader Joe's, Molly Spirits, Epic Brewing Company, and Voodoo Donuts. And to thank all who made this event possible and who make our mission possible every day, all of you. For those of you who are joining us from home today, thank you for tuning in, and we hope that you enjoy this special treat from Tim Bender, head chef of Osage Cafe, who will be giving us a little rundown recipe and demonstration on how to prepare 2 versions of a French stuffed toast, recipes you received in your welcome email for today's event. Cook with us while you enjoy the show today and post your photos and videos with hashtag Rise and Thrive, hashtag Denver Voice, or tag at Denver Voice to help us spread the word while we come together this morning to rise and thrive.
This is Tim Bender. I'm the chef at Osage Cafe. We're out here today. We're going to be making a stuffed French toast with ham and cheese, and it's going to be delicious. First of all, I start with a nice Texas toast, which is a nice thick cut of bread. The first thing that I do is I want to dip this toast in my egg wash, okay? So all this is just a little bit of egg, and it's scrambled up so it can coat that bread, as you can see, right? So we're going to do that to each piece, only on one side. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pile that ham. Right now I'm using Black Forest ham, but you can use any kind of ham that you have in the fridge just for your lunch meat and whatnot. So we want to make this thing thick and delicious, okay? So after the ham, we're going to use some shredded cheese blend. So this is cheddar, pepper jack, and jack cheese, okay? But whatever you have in the fridge is fine. I'm sure that your guests will not mind at all, as long as it's cheesy. Now that we have our ham and cheese together, we're going to fold that together into a great big sandwich. We're going to keep the egg side that we dipped on the outsides. And then the kicker here is after we've kind of pressed everything down, I kind of move along the sides and I leave the middle a little bit more thick. But I press down the sides and then I move it straight to some breadcrumbs. The good part about this is you don't have to use breadcrumbs. You can use cornflakes. You can use anything that's kind of crispy. So as you can see, I'm kind of pressing this down because what we want is for it to cook all the way through, and when we cut it open, it's going to be oozy and cheesy. Whatever you're using for your crust, that's about how you want it to look. Now that I have a pan, it's at medium heat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some oil at the bottom of the pan and just kind of coat the whole bottom of the pan. Swirl it around and make sure that it's hot enough where the oil swirls around with ease, okay? So it should move really fast. And what you should see is a little bit of ripple in the oil. And that's gonna tell you that it's hot enough and it's ready to fry. We're gonna take our delicious sandwich here and we're gonna put it in. And we wanna lay the sandwich away from us. That way, the oil does not splash on you, okay? And what I'm doing here is I'm kind of moving it around in the oil to get an even fry. So the secret to this is whole butter. So what we're gonna do is once we flip this, we're gonna put a little bit of whole butter in there and it's gonna become golden, buttery, cheesy, and hammy. Now if you can see, that one side that I just put down is super golden and crispy. So all the while that that's happening, the cheese and the ham are heating up inside. So by the time that you cut it open, it's gonna be oozy and amazing. Do the same thing on the other side here, okay? We want golden and crispy, right? Golden crispies, baby. Now, since we've already seared one side, I'm gonna add a little bit of whole butter to this. And if you can see that sizzle, it starts to bubble. And then I'll just move that sandwich around in there. So what's that gonna do? It's gonna help with flavor, number one, but it's also gonna help with the heat transfer from the bottom up to the cheese and the ham. Okay. So now I wanna flip it over one more time and make sure that the other side gets that butter love, okay? So don't be afraid at home to try other kinds of like crusts, if you will. So you can use panko breadcrumbs, or you can use cornflakes, or you can use graham crackers if you want to do a sweet version. Those things will all work. And I'm going to flip it over one more time. And take your time with this because you want that cheese to be melted, okay? And is both sides to be nice and golden brown and brown from the butter, and the cheese to be melted. So the way to tell is you stick your fingers in here and just look. You see that? That's some melty cheese, okay? Now that we have a golden crispy sandwich, I'm gonna grab my cutting board and we're gonna cut that into pieces and then let's eat. All right. The fun part about this is that if you're having a party, you can cut this into little quarters or even smaller pieces too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it into quarters like I would serve it at the restaurant. So first of all, we cut diagonal along the bread, just like you do a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Then we're gonna turn it 45 degrees and we're gonna cut it again. We're gonna serve it like this. We have a stuffed French toast, and it's great for parties, it's great for breakfast, it's great for brunch. So enjoy, have fun with it. Use different toppings, use different fillings. Thank you for cooking with me today. Bon appetit, and have fun cooking. All the things that I want.
I'm Anthony Cornejo, Program Coordinator of the Denver Voice Vendor Program. I want to give a big thanks for your support today, and a big thanks to Tim Bender, Executive Chef of Osage Cafe, another organization in our community doing incredible work, for joining us today and helping us get breakfast prepared as we sit down to enjoy our meal together. Many of you already know about the work of the Denver Voice, and you're here to continue to support that work. But many of you are here for the first time. Maybe you were invited by a friend, or maybe you've been picking up a paper for a long time and are just getting the chance to learn a bit more. I'm pleased and honored to get the chance to share a bit with you today about our 25-year history as Denver's own street newspaper. Here's a quick look at how our vendor program works.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Monahan, Managing Editor of The Voice. I have the great pleasure of helping to create and put out our incredible publication each month for the purpose of educating and informing the public about issues not covered anywhere else, and to fill a need in our community to support those experiencing homelessness and poverty. One thing people may not realize about street papers is that there were actual newspapers. Our articles adhere to journalistic standards and practices. However, unlike traditional newspapers, our primary mission is not to grow readers, but instead, it is to give a human face to those experiencing homelessness. We're not beholden to corporations, but we do seek to engage those who care about issues related to homelessness and extreme poverty. And we focus our content on educating the community on how we all can come together to show compassion to the unhoused, while working on addressing the root causes of homelessness and the solutions that will lift people out of homelessness.
The rate of people experiencing homelessness and poverty continues to grow, and our community continues to be affected. How do we help? The Denver Voice is on a mission to break down the walls built by the stigma for those experiencing homelessness and poverty by empowering individuals to create their own future. The Denver Voice is working to turn these signs into signals. Signals of empowerment, opportunity, progression, and change. As Denver's premier street paper, the Denver Voice provides economic opportunities for people experiencing homelessness and poverty in the Denver metro area. With a mission of breaking down stereotypes, offering economic, educational, and empowerment opportunities, the Denver Voice provides a light for the future. So how does the Denver Voice directly impact those experiencing homelessness or poverty? Through their vendor program. Each vendor purchases issues of the Denver Voice's newspaper for 50 cents. They then distribute them across the city to individuals for a donation and profit, providing them with a direct source of income. The Denver Voice also connects vendors with resources within the community, such as mental and medical health access, financial services, transportation, and housing support. So what does the Denver Voice mean to our vendors, supporters, and donors? By purchasing an issue from one of our vendors or donating to the Denver Voice, you are helping to grow your community and support hundreds who are working to realize self-sufficiency through earning a dignified income.
You are helping me.
You're helping us.
Visit denvervoice.org to learn more, find vendor locations, read their stories, and end the stigma around homelessness and poverty.
The Denver Voice program fills a gap in services that only our non-traditional approach is able to meet. The street paper, which is a concept used around the world, illustrated by the 120 papers that are a part of the international network of street papers, allows individuals who may not otherwise be able to work, whether because of personal circumstance or health, the opportunity to earn an income, meet basic needs, and regain confidence and control of their lives. For some, non-traditional job opportunities like ours will be the only that they have access to due to challenges that prevent them from seeking more traditional opportunities. For others, it will be a stepping stone that allows them the time and the energy to build on their job skills and pay for basic needs while they work toward goals that may include another form of employment. We serve a diverse demographic and a community need that is ever growing and impacting communities of traditionally marginalized populations at an astounding rate. The Denver Voice also works to change the face of homelessness by enhancing community awareness of homeless prevalence, breaking down common misconceptions, and inviting volunteers and other community members to engage with individuals of all races, ethnicities, and backgrounds who are provided a voice and an economic opportunity through our programs. Our organization has seen a lot of change since doors first opened in 1996. Change in our program, change in the people, and a tremendous change in the communities that we serve. When you think about all that we've done in just the last year, shifting to emergency grant support during early closures, reopening in the summer with new ways for our vendors to sell and earn, providing discounted papers, launching a podcast partnership, helping to file for stimulus checks, and engaging in deeper peer navigation services, surpassing 4,600 individuals served in our program, and even a building move to ensure that our services wouldn't be limited by access limitations. You can imagine what the last 25 years have looked like. That picture of change is one better told through those who lived it.
They listen to us and treat us like we're humans. Just because we're out here on the streets sometimes, it doesn't mean that we're any less than anybody else is.
I think everybody is trying to either use the voice as a stepping stone or as a way to get themselves or keep themselves off the street.
When you get to that spot where you lose everything you have, it's really hard to try to even just get identification to get back on your feet.
Denver Voice, we sell the newspapers where we come up with the money every day. It's a job for people who don't have IDs or who just come out of jail or something.
Yeah, I was stealing to make money, but I don't have to do that now. It gives them a chance to have a little pride in themselves, which is what the part I like, is the fact that I'm actually working instead of what I used to do. It's greatly appreciated.
We don't refuse anybody when they come down to sign up with The Voice, and also we don't ask to see their identification. The reason for that is because they become an independent contractor, so technically they're working for themselves. They will make their own hours, they choose their own locations, and they are responsible for building up their own clientele and everything, but they don't have to report back to us. It's kind of a way to give them a little bit of ownership over it too, so they might want to take better care of it. Print your name here, date here. Go ahead and sign and date those, so you guys make sure you keep these. So here are your papers. All right, well thank you guys. Good luck to you. Do you have any idea where you're going to go this morning to start out?
Homelessness is the bottom of the barrel. And the one problem with it is once you get to the bottom, how do you get back up? I know very few vendors who aren't trying to improve who they are through The Voice. Most of them are trying to become part of society again. And that's what the Denver Voice is. It helps us become part of society.
I started selling the paper after about 20 years of being homeless and drugs. Thank you. There you are. Have a great weekend. Thank you. It was very different from the very moment I walked through the door. People that were here, all races, nationalities, but there was one thing that I noticed that everybody had one thing in common. They were there to accept help, and so I did sign up that day and got some papers. And I'm going on 3 years now.
Most people, they put their eyes down and to the right, which means that they really don't want to comprehend or even think about you because they're engulfed in their own lives.
It's very hard work, and sometimes we have rejection because some people think we are begging for money because they don't know what The Voice is about.
Just have a smile on my face, and if they ask me what it's about, then I can explain it to them. Get them interested if they want to come back.
the people that are doing the voice regularly are the ones who are trying to improve themselves. They work at it every day. They don't want to be homeless, so they find a way to do something to make their lives better. And hopefully we improve other people's lives by not only what's in the paper, but by our interaction.
Well, you may call them customers or clients or whatever, but they're more like family to me because, hell, I know something about everybody's breakup, their relationships, or what's going on at home, or the grades they're getting, or the tests that they're sweating for. And they know probably just as much about me, so they're more than customers.
Do you have somewhere to go for Easter?
I always get copies of a lot of their papers. Whether they get C's or A's, I get the copies.
What do you do with them?
Put them in my scrapbook. There's a lot of stuff I put in my scrapbook. Yeah, so they're more like family.
Hello, my name is John Alexander. I've been with The Voice for 14 years, vending papers. At the time I first came to The Voice, I was in a crack house, or what you may know as a den for drugs. I had been at this place all day and into the night, getting high, and I spent all the money, everything that I had, no pictures to sell. At that time I sold my artwork throughout the community. I remember this place I had heard about a few weeks ago, a few weeks prior rather. It was called the Denver Voice. I had heard you don't need any money, you don't need no ID, it's required to get started. The only thing you needed, the first requirement was just be there. And it's still that way today, Monday through Friday, 9 to noon. So I had it all figured out that night, years ago, many years ago. I would stay at the crack house, which was good because it was only a few blocks from the Denver Voice's office. And I would be there bright and early the next morning, and I'd do whatever was required to get my badge and the free 10 papers to start with. I would sell the papers and make some of that money. Then I'd go buy my needed frames and make some more money, some real money, and go buy some dope and make a good deal with the dope dealer, and I'd be back in business again. Well, that was 14 years ago. How has the Denver Voice changed my life for the better? I could write a book, literally write a book about that. But today I'll just talk about a few chapters. Through my work with The Voice, I gained self-respect, hope, and ideas the very instant I walked out of the building that day, so many years ago. I eliminated drugs from my life. That's a good guess why I'm still alive today. And I started writing articles for the paper. And I really liked that. And I was getting paid too. Wow. Then the people started reading my articles, and they started seeking me out, or asking that I come to their church in person and speak, or the schools, different organizations, especially the colleges. And you'll never guess this, I was getting paid again with real money, money that you could count and spend. Wow, again. But one of the things that I really enjoyed most of building was building my business. I was self-employed, or an entrepreneur. That's a big word. And I mean, I wasn't a bad guy to work for. I'm not bragging, but I soon became Employee of the Month, every month, for the last 14 years. And Denver Voice has helped me also to better understand homelessness and the misconception of homelessness and homeless people. I feel very strongly that the communities, our neighborhoods, as well as a whole, benefit very much from the Denver Voice. because of our program, which consists of great character and philosophies that our people live by, teach, and pass on to others. It creates many positive life changes, and not just for our vendors, but for those who come in contact with daily. We get to speak with them, and it's a 24-hour conversation that we get to have with the community. And when you become a Denver Voice vendor, you join a team of champions who advocate and speak on the challenging ideas, pushing back the negativity and the misunderstanding. And that's a powerful thing. I have worked as a vendor with the Denver Voice, and over the years became something of a mentor to help many different vendors with tips to improve their sales, helping them navigate problems with their business, and I'm always happy to do that even now. And because I know the voice can mean for someone's life, what being successful in the program can mean for someone's life also. Back in January of 2020, when the Denver Voice developed and launched our new program, I was one of the first chosen to help to be with the program. And I was doing simply things that I was in relationship with the things that I'd already been doing. In my job, I was helping and being alongside the vendors, and things like getting a car, getting ID, getting transportation to work. Through this program, I have found yet another way that I can help others help themselves. We go deeper in our work with these individuals, almost like counseling or counselors, certainly like friends who care about their success. We help vendors with very personal things, problems they need to take care of, their life goals. Here I am again. Here I am from a vendor to a navigator, a life counselor through the Peer Navigation Program. 14 years ago, so many years, and this program continues to change my life every day, and for that I'm grateful. And for that I'm grateful because without you and the support you provide, this program would not be here, and would not be here 25 years later, continuing to help anyone who is ready to help themselves.
For 25 years, our organization has been here to support life-changing education and empowerment tools through normalcy, control, and self-sufficiency for incredible individuals like John. As we celebrate the success of this year and so many before it, and look forward to the next 25, I hope that you'll join us in continuing that tradition. As the leader of this great organization, I am proud to get to witness the stories behind the opportunity the Denver Voice provides every day. The power of tools, education, and a path that our impoverished and homeless communities can access without barriers to actively be a part of building a better life for themselves and to build better communities. When you buy a paper from one of our vendors, you are directly supporting that vendor with a meaningful income through dignified work, and we are grateful. When you donate to the Denver Voice, you help provide income opportunities to all of the more than 100 vendors who work through our program each year. You help to fund the development and creation of the Denver Voice newspaper and the training, support, and management provided to our vendors and to volunteers. Your support is powerful. As you have heard today, listening to John speak about his experience over the last 14 years and seeing the impact on so many that our program has helped in our more than 25-year history, the Denver Voice vendors need the Denver Voice. Denver needs the Denver Voice, and the Denver Voice needs you.
Thank you for all of your support. The Denver Voice is an integral part of the Denver community because of people like you.
Thank you for your support.
The Denver Voice does amazing work in the community, thanks to you.
Thank you all for your continued support of this incredible organization and of its vendors.
Thank you so much for being a part of the Denver Voice community.
I want to thank you for your donations. They really helped me a lot. They paid my rent every month for 10 years.
Hi, as a Voice vendor, I just want to thank you for all of your support and kindness to the Denver Voice.
I would like to thank you for supporting us and it got me a little bit knowledge of how I could do my own thing. I appreciate y'all and I keep up the work. Thank you.
My name is Nikki Lawson. I am president of the board of directors, and I love donuts, donors, and donuts. Thank you for everything you do for the Denver Voice. We appreciate your support. Cheers.